Okay, I'm going to start recording it. So, before we go, I have some guidelines for all of us, and I want all of us to try and follow them. Okay? And you will see why in a minute. The first guideline is you are not a victim. You are in charge of your life. Lot of us, when we come to these kind of forums, we start thinking about, guys are bad, I have been really badly treated all throughout my life, and I have to do something about it. Okay? That's not the point of this discussion. I don't want anyone to go with that message. Everyone in our life is an individual, and all of us have our own set of problems. Okay? And what we are looking at is, for this kind of a group, what are our problems that we see collectively, or may not be collectively? Like some people, everyone's experience is so different, right? But some problems that we share collectively as a woman, there are men who face a different kind of problem. Okay, so we're not going on a fight against anyone. We are in this together, and we're trying to solve our problem. Okay, and we may take help of each other as we. The other thing is we are not victims. Okay, what I mean is, has anyone read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl? Okay, I see two hands. Do you want to share what that book is about?
It's about surviving through the worst of it and still finding meaning in life, even though you are like seeing death everywhere and torture and like his family was killed and everything, but still he found like the motivation to live. I think that was really inspiring. I hope no one goes through it, but the way it's recalled, it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to share something? Okay. So Viktor Franklin was a Jew, and he was in a concentration camp during that time. And he was there for 4 years, and his wife got killed at the same time. She was in another concentration camp. He was also a psychologist. So what he went through in those years, and he came up with this book. He wrote this book in 90 days. Okay. And what he says is, it doesn't matter what my circumstances are around me. The responsibility of giving a response is mine. You can do anything with it. Imagine you're in a concentration camp and you are just being ordered to do this or this. There's no control, right? But according to him, the control was in his hands. It was not in anybody else's hands. Okay? Because you can do anything to me, but the thought I think to respond to what you do is in my control. You can say anything to me. So we are not victims over here. We are in control of what we decide to do. Okay? So when you think that you are a victim, you give the power to someone else. Okay? You try to tell, oh, because being victim feels so good, right? I'm right. That's how it feels. So you're not a victim. You are actually in control. So please stop feeling victim. Okay? That's my first guideline.
Preeti, can you repeat the name of the book, please?
It's The Man's Search for Meaning. It's one of the top books in the world by Viktor Frankl. Okay. Second guideline is, we're not going to focus on problems. Okay? We're going to look at problems, what they are, but just scribbling about problems doesn't lead to any answers, doesn't lead to any solution. It just makes the problem bigger. So we are going to focus on solutions. What can we do to change things? You are in charge. Each one of us is in charge. And what are we going to do to make that change in our lives? Okay? That is the promise you need to give yourself. I'm going to solve my own problem. No one else will solve my problem. I want to figure out what I need to do. Okay? Any comments? Okay. My third guideline is be vulnerable. Okay? Okay. So I asked why people can sit next to me.
Oh yeah, I didn't see you.
Are you comfortable? Okay. The third is be vulnerable. Okay, this I learned while I was doing the dialogue circles at VMware. But being vulnerable is such an important trait. When you put yourself out here, right, out anywhere, and you show what you're afraid of, right, you create a kind of, like people understand, they can talk about their real issues and find solutions. But if you're just hiding behind a curtain and not saying that this is wrong or that is wrong, you will not find solutions. You will not show your real self. Okay? So being vulnerable is another important thing. For example, this is my first talk, and I wasn't sure whether I should give it, right? I'm a senior MTS. I'm not even higher up in the technical ladder. Okay? Should I give it? I asked Matthew. Like, I'm feeling very uncomfortable doing it. I don't know what to do. He said, you reached senior level because you did something. Many people are still at MTS. You took some steps to reach over there, right? Why don't you just share what you have to say? So be vulnerable. When you say, then people start talking out their minds. So these are my 3 guidelines. Okay. Now we are going to go to what happened to us when we were kids. And that is the first topic I'm going to go. Second is how it impacts our career now. Okay, since this talk is about how it's impacting our careers. Okay, so we're going to go in that fashion, because childhood experiences are so important and they are the foundation of how we live today. So I want to dive into that. And I love to have discussions. So if you have comments, please feel free to stop me and talk. I tend to, yeah.
Sorry, I'll have to say. So I have a question about the victim thing. So I agree with the fact that yes, you shouldn't feel the response is in your hands. But what do you do? For example, let's say you're in a situation, like not as of engineers, like my mom, right? Like for example, she had to give up her job because the family decided that, you know, to raise me and my sister, my father would keep working, but she has to give up her job. And at that point, she was in that mindset. She was like, you know what, let me just like focus on my children. And now, when I speak to her, she regrets that. She regrets like not having her own like a life outside of her family. So, in that sense, she didn't, in my opinion, like she's not a victim, but I don't think she had a response. Like, how do you deal with that?
So I think I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Okay. So did anyone attend the talk by Madam Albright, the Secretary of the United States?
Last year.
Last year? Okay. This is what she mentioned. She and her husband couldn't join a job because her husband was working in a newspaper company. And at that time, the labor laws said that both family members cannot join the same company.
Okay.
And she was not allowed to join another company because it would mean she's joining a competition. And you don't want to join competition in a family, right? Competition. So she stayed at home. Okay. And during that time, she said, I did other things. Okay. She did her PhD. She woke up 4:30 every morning. She worked on her dissertation. She worked on it. Okay. So she decided how she's going to use that time. Right? She had that choice in her hand. That she could, okay, I'm not able to do this right now. What else can I do? What fits with my vision? Right? So you can, at any point, you can take certain steps to see what should I do. Either you rebel out and say, no, I'm not going to go for that.
Exactly.
You can do that, okay? But the choice is the kind of person you are, the kind of circumstances you have been in, and the kind of approach you will take to solve your problem. Okay? So it depends on you what you're going to take.
And I have a comment. The victim point is so important because, you know, I gave up everything.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to go with that mindset.
So that is like, I enabled my children. I gave them higher level goals. And the moment they're a little old enough that they can manage, they go to school, I'm out their door. I'll do something else. I'll get that PhD. I'll teach something. I'll volunteer. So it's in our hands to make our life the best we can. And when everything looks horrible, just think about those guys that were in those concentration camps, everything over. So you can always compare against something horrible and then see what else we can do better. I mean, just saying everything is tough, I'm down, it doesn't help anybody. It's toxic.
Yeah, that's true.
And my mom did that, you know, when we went to college, she went and got an early childhood education. Diploma, she worked for 9 years, and she saw many other things that I think helped her grow. And I think the worst thing is the negativeness and the toxicity.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree with her. And I feel that any time in life, whether you always have limited choices, you have to realize that this world is very probabilistic and you're a small player. So So you will have limited choices and you're always making a choice in that limited choice. In this case, it's a smaller subset. But just imagine what kind of things you can do when you have 8 hours that you otherwise would have spent at work to yourself. Of course, you'll have to divide some time for your home, but there are so many other options you can explore. But if you have the mindset for it. So I would focus on having the mindset to see beyond what is obvious and explore through the cracks. In another forum, I was talking about leadership, and I felt that parenthood is a role of leadership. You lead by example. And if you really want to do a good job for it, you need a lot of work. And believe me, it's a full-time job. So I think if you raise children successfully, it is a wonderful job that you have accomplished and you should feel proud of.
Let's move on. Okay. Okay, what we learn as children, okay? Pretty versus brave, okay? Most of the time, oh, what happened? Okay, my slides, I modified them in the morning, but I can't see the results. So, but anyway, I'm gonna read them, okay? Usually, girls are told, you're beautiful, okay? Mostly, okay? And boys are told, go for it. Or at least my brother was allowed to go out of the home, play his video games, come back whenever he wanted to, right? I was not allowed to go out. Like, so the mindset that creates between girls and boys being beautiful, okay, or being taken care of, right? That creates a kind of mindset that, okay, I am important only if others approve of me, right? Because they're seeing it through the lens of how I am, how I'm looking. And beauty is only skin deep. It doesn't give you confidence. Okay? It just makes you feel that, okay, it's just because others are saying, and I'm always kind of comparing myself with others. Okay? Like, oh, she looks more beautiful than me. I have to look more beautiful. Right? So it doesn't lead to any goodness when you're just focusing on a girl's beauty. Okay? And all over the world, the social media focuses on that as well. Right? Which is such a bad thing, such a negative thing. Right? So if you can, like I have a daughter, I really don't want her to get into pinks. I really don't want her to get only in beauty. Some amount is fine, okay? Like, okay, fine, you want to play with a few things, fine. But I don't want her to think that beauty is the only thing in her life, okay? I want her to explore other things. And I was so happy that Disney came up with Frozen. There was a blue princess instead of just pink. There are more colors than just pink. And actually, pink used to be a boy's color in 1960. Okay, it was changed. So I find those things like don't restrict them. Don't restrict your mindset. And remember that you are actually thinking that the reason we look for self-approval is because of that. Because every time when we were kids, we were told, oh, you look so pretty, right? And it comes because, oh, that person. So I'm always expecting someone to say good things about me. I don't have that inner confidence inside of me that, oh, I am good, which can come when actually I go out and do something. Then I know, oh, I can do it, right? And in the same way, when you are brave, right? When boys are brave, they are sort of vulnerable to taking risks. They take more risks, okay? And the other thing is that they are criticized a lot. Why are you doing this? Oh, he's a loafer, okay? This guy is up to no good, okay? They realize to take that other people's comments are not important, okay? They realize to think that, okay, I can decide for myself whether what that person is saying is right or not. But everyone says something and say, that's right, okay? So we turn it around and say, we take, okay, every other person who's telling us things is telling us the right thing, and which may not be true. Okay, so you have to say, okay, it was because of that mindset that I came from, that pretty mindset or that protected mindset. It's because I'm seeing these things that I'm looking for approval, I'm not taking risks, and I'm just taking others' input and not giving my own, not forming my own. Okay, I'm just this is what I had mentioned here. So let me just go ahead. And sorry about the slides not being that good. I had. Okay.
Stop apologizing.
Thank you. Thanks.
Disease of perfection. That was the next slide. Follow your own advice.
Disease of perfection. I am not satisfied. How many of us here want to be perfect? I see a lot of hands.
There's some growing up to do.
I discovered, I was proud of trying to reach perfection. I was proud of it when I was in my engineering. I had posters on my walls that said, not just this, I want to be perfect. And then I realized it is actually a big, big problem. Okay, I don't want to be perfect. Okay, and the reason I don't want to be perfect is because it takes me from taking, I can't accept failure. Okay, I just want to remain in this boundary, and if I want to strive for perfection, I will not try anything new. So being perfect is such a bad thing. Okay, we were told how to be a perfect daughter, like a daughter does these things, this thing, the kind of models that are created in the world. A perfect mom is especially now as a mom, I see it so much, and you are all constantly guilty of not being that perfect mom. And constantly feeling, oh, someone else is doing a better job than me. Like, give yourself some kind of space and say, it's okay, I'm not going to be perfect. I don't want to be perfect. Okay? I'm fine the way I am. I'm a work in progress. Okay? And I'm always going to be a work in progress. And I don't want to achieve perfection.
Good.
What is the definition of perfection?
Exactly. Perfection?
Yeah, I mean, it can be different for different people, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you? I believe I am still
question.
perfect, even though I might not fall into certain set of rules or like
Contribute to answer.
Yes, please, yeah.
So we define the definition for perfect, and most of the times we struggle to meet that definition. And the definition, as you said, varies from person to person, varies across cultures, varies across mountains. But we form that definition. What she's trying to say is, it's know that you will never reach there. So it is like a curve which is trying to reach that point, but it will never reach.
It's always like some sort of expectation which we are not doing.
Try to set a goal because it sets you up for something. I wouldn't say you should not have that in your mind. You need to think about what you want to be, but you need to let go if it does not arrive there.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, I like the point that she said that you're always work in progress, right? So, but then don't dishearten yourself saying that, oh, I haven't reached that level. I think you should, at the same time, you should be content with what,
actually have that
you are as a person and still aim to kind of reach there. So,
I'll give you an example for the perfect mom. You carry a lot of baggage of your childhood, as she mentioned. You look up to what your memories were, and you form a picture of the perfect mom. And when you are in that position, inadvertently you try to emulate it in some manners. And then in addition to that, you have a bunch of new things because you have a bunch of different exposure that you have had, which your mom probably did not. So now you find yourself in a space where you're overwhelmed by the kind of things you want to do. And you are one human being in one lifetime, limited by 24 hours in a day. It is humanly impossible to achieve all of it. So you have to prioritize and let go at times.
In an engineering context, how many of you heard about the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
It's easy to get to that 80% point, but then perfection is that other 20% that takes another 80% of the time. So think of that as a message here.
It's a moving target.
and that we should be willing to take risks and we should not be scared of failure. It's absolutely okay to fail in something, but you should try new things and take risks in your career and even otherwise.
Like, oh, I can apply for that job. I don't know if I'll be the perfect VP or director. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah.
Few years down the road, I'll be this awesome VP, but I'm getting there.
And guys don't have that fear ever.
They don't.
Yeah.
They have
Not the same degree as
but they're ready to give themselves
They're
that
ready to
thing
take
say.
risks. And I think you should feel that no one is perfect, right? Like you should not, I mean, start comparing yourself with others. Just think that everyone has their imperfection and that's the beauty of life. That,
How you come to
And
that?
our society with that beauty thing, everyone has to have the perfect teeth, the perfect height, the perfect weight.
That's
Yeah, or-
why I didn't do any threading and anything before coming for that. Seriously. So I was talking to my elder sister and she was saying, oh, I was just talking to her. She said, I got this problem that I always have a need for being perfect and that's ruining my life. Not really, she didn't say that actually. And she said, I heard too many moral stories when I was a kid that I have a need to reach there, right? To be that perfect, that. So.
Just want to share one small thing. So this has other side as well. So for me, it happened that when I was growing up, and I didn't do it to please anyone else. It is that's the person I am. So I was good at academics. I used to listen to my parents, and they never forced me to do anything out of my comfort level. So while growing up, I always had that picture, or my relatives always had that picture that she is a perfect daughter. And so far, I enjoyed that image. I'm like, oh, this feels nice to be a perfect daughter in front of everyone.
Yeah.
But now it's stuck to me. Now it's like if I have to do something, then that image comes to my mind. Am I affecting that? And now I'm like, stop. It's not necessary to maintain. It's all right. Yeah. It's not necessary to maintain that. It's all right if I lose it.
Exactly.
So
Just
that also
the perfection is fine.
because parents prize it so much. Yeah.
And I think same thing happens when you join a new team and you try to, like, during that initial phase, you're making an impression, you try to do things perfectly. And then you are like afraid to make mistakes because your image will change in terms of, now they will think, oh, she actually isn't that smart. You get that thing at the back of your mind and try not.
That always happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, like every time sending that mail out, if, as you said, like if you send it out after 80% of the thing is done, probably you will get more things done instead of like waiting for that 20% to be complete and then only sending it out. And you'll miss out
another 80%.
yeah, and you'll miss out on opportunities. In the sense, by that time someone else will reply and what you were trying to say, someone has already said it.
I completely agree with that and wanted to share my experience. So I had this habit of trying to do things perfectly and then sharing with everybody. I felt very conscious if I had not done that. I felt that I was not in a position to share it if it is half baked.
Yeah.
And I realized that I lost on a lot of opportunities because most of my colleagues share things when they are at 20% or 30%. This is more of a female-male thing. I've seen it in most females, and that's why I'm sharing. As you mentioned, when you have an idea and you think you're not almost there, that's the time to say it.
Yeah.
There was one empowering thing, and I learned that at Intel. AR, action required. Did you think about this? I thought about 90%. I haven't thought of that. I'll take that as an action item.
Yeah.
And then you respond later. But you don't have to have all the answers. And if I had all the answers, what's the work for the other people? Let me have everyone's answers, right?
Okay, let's moving on. So the other impression that we get as kids is that girls are not as smart as boys. Okay, and that could be because of lack of role models that we see. Whether how are our moms appearing as, right? That is why I think someone mentioned that the best thing you can do is to be the example you want your kid to grow as, right? We didn't have so many role models. There was lack of opportunity for many people. For example, me and my sister are the only two working girls in our whole family of my parents' side. Like no one else is working. My father came from a village and you just give the basic education to girls and that's about it. And some places you don't even do that. Okay? Lack of opportunity. You may not have the opportunity, but look at us. We have the opportunity. We have that. We got that opportunity to come here and be here. The people who didn't, they have a different set of problems. And I just want to refocus that we are focusing on our problems. Okay, we don't have to solve everyone's problems. Let's just solve our problems. Then risk covers. Like I think this is pretty much same as what I said earlier. Girls don't take risk as they grow up. Okay, and boys are the ones who are more. They just go out and play. They just go and do all kind of mischief. How many girls have done that as they were? So all this makes you feel, okay, I'm not as smart. I am just doing what I'm being told to do. Okay. In fact, in classrooms, if you see, girls are the most studious ones. Okay. You give them a pattern, they'll look for self-approval, like approval of others, and they'll do it perfectly, right? And they'll be best. But once you stop studying and you go out in the world, it's a different game altogether. Okay. So where do you find? How do you then you have to change yourself.
I have one question. Should you have some pointers as to how you can increase your risk appetite?
Yeah, I have. I'll come to that. I have an awesome tool. Okay, this again is a mistake of the slide set. Okay, how it affects us now. Okay, I think we went over a few things right now, but let's go in. Low self-confidence. Okay, whenever I'm an engineer, whenever I have worked, before I send out a review, it has to be perfect. There should not be a single review comment saying you missed this. Okay, and because of that, my productivity is low because I don't send those things out in time. Okay, I just have to make sure I've done testing 100 times. If I change a slight thing, I have to do testing all over again before I send it out. Okay, because my confidence is low, I'm not sure whether I'm doing the right thing. When some question comes over mail, okay, I think I know the answer. I know the answer, but I'm not sure. So I'll probably compose it, or I'll just think in my mind, I think I know this answer, but I'll not reply. And then what happens? Someone else replies, I was just thinking of the same thing, but I didn't reply. Okay, because I hesitated. I hesitated to make a mistake. Okay, that if I say, people will think I'm not smart. Okay. This is less likely to apply for roles. Like when you see openings, girls usually think, okay, everything, all the things, 10 things listed, which should match with you. Okay, if you miss on anything, then you should not apply for that role at all. I had one interesting talk with one of the guys who became PE recently, and I asked him, what helped you succeed? So he said that, well, if you see opportunity, just go grab it. Okay? He said there was this project which was going around in the BU, and I was not involved in it, but I saw it and I started attending the meetings. I would just go inside the meeting and sit, and then started giving my inputs. I thought I can help out here. Tell me how many of us do it here? You have to learn from her. Okay?
And I think I wanted to add to that. Some of your observations that come in handy. I would suggest observe the people around you, how they operate. So 1 year back, I was exactly in the mode that you were explaining. And then I just observed how the people around me are operating and moving ahead. And I realized that some of these traits work. Just the same case, I got one of the projects which was not assigned to me. I started working on it. I started exhibiting leadership in it. And soon enough, I was leading that project. So you just have to take a step, don't feel shy, think you are the boss, and just talk. If you have an idea, of course.
Great point, yeah.
Or if you don't feel yet to say, hey, no, I can help the project, say, I'm curious, I just want to go, and open your mouth there. And then you realize you're making contribution. But you have to open your mouth, and half the story is being there. So go to those meetings. So the things that I am more scared about are when we're not informed about meetings, when we're not included on meetings, because then you don't know that stuff happens. And I don't like to come into work always, but Friday is a good day because it's peaceful, and then the kitchen is a very good place to be. Why? Because people come there, and they're a little more relaxed. You can talk that day. What do you have to do? And that's how you come to know of opportunities.
What do you do about technology included on mails though? Can you ask?
Yeah, that's another topic we're going to come to in another day. Actually, I want to have a report after it.
Okay. So to answer her question, networking is very important, and most of us don't do it unless absolutely required. But that's the key to getting to know what is going around. The second thing, second thing is sometimes you feel shy to exhibit awareness of certain things or knowledge on certain issues. Ask questions. That's the best way because that makes people talk about things. And if you knew one thing, you now come to know about 5 things.
So I really like your point about observe, because I think I have learned most of the things by observing. Okay, like observing what's happening around my environment, what others are doing, what I'm doing. Observing myself has been a really big thing for me. So that's good.
I want to relate her one point. Sure. Ask questions comes back to Preeti's point about vulnerability. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, but don't say that. Just say, can you tell me more about it? Or what's the difficulty here, or what's the exciting part here? Ask like that. It's your vulnerability that you don't know it, but by just asking them, they love to share and talk and tell you, I'm the coolest person, this is the hardest part of the project. That's how you learn. So we in our team give like thumbs up to people who ask the questions and they'll say, oh my God, such a tough question.
Join my team.
And then, afterwards they'll say, hey, I was going to ask you to, I'm so glad you asked, and so I'm so glad you answered it. And then my boss reiterated that same statement. So it's always valuable. And you've done a bad job of explaining if somebody didn't get it. So they're asking questions, the positive feedback for them that I have to do something better here.
So I want to add something.
Sure.
So apart from low self-confidence, like I just had a discussion with my roommate and we were discussing that it's also that as girls, if we say something wrong, we are like stereotyped into being like, yeah, girls don't know anything. So that's why, my thinking is I usually take one more look to be sure that whatever I'm saying is not wrong, because that should not, because I'm the only girl in my team, so I'm representing like women. I feel that.
Bring more girls over to your team.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not right now in my hands.
I think let me just pull back and I'll just answer yours also in that context. When we were little, this is a quotation I heard from everyone: if you are beautiful, you're not smart. Okay, and I tried my entire life not to look because I wanted to be smart. Okay, and that is another reason girls fight with other girls. Even at work, we don't make friends with girls. Okay, because whenever you see a girl, oh, I am in competition with her. Okay, that's the feeling we get. Okay, and we need to break that. Okay, you need to find, another thing I found is you have to find allies in your team who will support you, who will vouch for you. And how you found allies? You support someone, they'll support you back. It can be a guy, it can be a girl, right?
It's again networking.
It's again, yeah, you support each other in the team. Plus, don't be afraid to speak up if you're a girl. Speak up because you're a girl. Please.
Yeah. I try my best, but I still have that in my mind.
You
somewhere.
need to break out of it.
I have a suggestion. I had gone through the same phase where I always felt that I was talked down. In a meeting, there will be at least one person who will who will appreciate you talking. Yeah. Try to sense who that person is, and try to develop a rapport. Next time around, you'll get some more support. And after a few rounds, if somebody tries to talk you down, you can just say, hold on for a second, let me complete, and then come back. Allow them to talk whatever they want to, but make sure you make a point. As a feedback that I've got during performance evaluations was that I allow others to talk over me. And from some other feedback I got that I have a good listening ear. So you listen to other people, but you ensure that you make your point.
I was in a meeting where I had to say the same sentence thrice. So, first time nobody listened, second time nobody listened, third time I had to say, I still said it again, so people would listen.
So I think you have to raise your volume.
Yeah. No, they listened, they stopped for me, but they didn't react.
No, so you have to make sure everyone listens. Raise your hand or do whatever. No, I have a point to make. You have to be more vocal. And you can take a class on communication or something which can help you
on voice projection.
On voice projection, yes.
And standing up helps.
They listened, but they did not hear, they did not process that.
Yeah, they just
you have to keep making it.
Yeah.
And you have to find allies.
That's why I said it 3 times. I'm like, I'm going to keep on saying.
Sometimes
to develop your voice. For example, you know
Yeah, but
something that you wanted to, but we're
if you
not
say
allowed to
something,
say
Maybe
it.
we have a voice on the phone, let's give her a chance.
if you
Go
say
ahead.
something a bunch of times and they're not listening to you, sometimes it's not just that they don't hear you, they're hearing you, but it's not gelling with them. So you have to figure out a way to say it in a different manner to get it to stick into their heads, because sometimes they're just not thinking along the same wavelength, and you need to say it the way they're going to process it.
That's a good point. And also you can take someone aside after the meeting and say, hey, I was saying this, what happened? How come no one?
You can actually ask in the meeting as well, what are your comments? Any comments on that?
Yeah, finally they listen to me and agree to my point.
Okay, I'm going to pull
I
back.
want you to stand up and start talking in future. Your voice is not that loud.
Okay.
I'll take one more last comment
I
from
was
Priya.
watching an interview of a celebrity, and she had a very good point. She said confidence is like brushing your teeth. You need to practice it, and then it comes natural to you. Suppose speaking, you need to do it every day. Like confidence, like just like you brush your teeth every day, just get up and say you're confident, you're beautiful, or you're smart, and things like that. So it's just like brushing your teeth. It's a everyday process that you need to do.
Yeah. So I
Just to add to that, the first time you do it, you will have a lot of palpitation, a lot of nervousness. But the second time you do it, it will be lesser. And so expect that and you will do it.
okay. So
Applause
I'll just go back because there is 5 minutes left. If we can go a few minutes over, I'll be happy. But let me just pull back and go over, and we can continue discussions after this session if you guys have time. Okay. The last thing is, if you have something to discuss about, the girls tend to spend a week reading about it rather than just going across and asking what is it about. Okay, because of the low confidence. And I just want to say what Priya also said. Confidence is a muscle memory. The more you exercise, the more confident will you be. You stop exercising, you grow less confident. So you have to build it. Okay? Every time you try, you keep building it. You keep working on it. So just keep taking steps. Keep working on it. Okay. Let me just, because we are still in the, okay, you can see blue color circles here, which look good. Collaboration. Okay? So we discussed it, so I'm going to go quickly. Unhealthy competition between girls, make girls your allies. Work with them. And don't have that. Then we also have discussions about technologies, okay, about ideas. Why do we have to get limited to talking about home or commute? Talk about technology. Figure out what's happening, right? Open yourself up. New frontiers. This is a problem with many people, not just girls or boys. Finances. We don't discuss salary. We don't discuss RSUs. We don't discuss any equity, right? How much is people getting, right? Become more self-aware of how to discuss. I also need help in this. So we can have more conversations later on about it. Networking. People are scared of this term networking, okay? Many of us. People say, I don't know how to, it's so awkward to go talk to someone, right? Think of it as making friends. You don't have to go with the intention of just asking someone and just having that networking moment, right? Just think of making friends. That's how I approach all my connections. Like I just make friends. I just learn from them and I teach them something. That's the way I look at it. Okay. Communications. I think girls have this problem. They assume too much. Okay. Oh, my manager should have seen I sent a mail late at night. He should know that I'm working. Okay. Like we assume, oh, but he must have said that I was working on this. Why is he not responded to me? We make too many assumptions in our mind about what other people are thinking. Other people really don't have time to think about us. Okay? If you have something in mind, say it out. Okay? Say it out and tell them that, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay? Are you on the same page or not? Okay? If you want to communicate a point, communicate it clearly. Don't assume. Blue circles again. Okay, I think let's go to the main thing that I want to get, solutions. Okay, how many people have heard about fixed mindset and growth mindset? Oh, I'm so happy. There's a room full of them. How many people apply it in their life?
Kind of.
I'm so happy. That's half of them. Okay, for people who don't know, fixed mindset is this is a study by Carol Dweck, okay? Fixed mindset is when I know I have this much of IQ, I'm this smart, I know this, I don't know this, okay? And you're so afraid of breaking that notion, like you mentioned about good daughter, okay? I'm afraid, right? Growth mindset is, I am this much, I'm work in progress. I can learn anything I want to do if I set my mind to it. There are million and zillions of things to learn in this world, okay? But you have to decide what you want to learn. And if I decide to learn something, I'll find the right people, the right tools, the right techniques to learn anything. So grow up, okay? Open up your mind to learn anything. I love dancing, I'm not good at it, but I still participate, okay? And then I watch my videos, okay, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? I can grow, I can learn, right? It's not limited to work or anything, it's just life-changing. It changed my life when I heard about this concept and I started applying in all the areas of my life, wherever I could find it. Take risk. So here's the tool that I said. So this tool was given to me by a life coach called Brooke Castillo. And it's a 30-day exercise, their exercise. For 30 days continuously, every day, do a thing you would not dare to do. Okay? And see how your confidence, you will be so, and you will also observe yourself, okay, what, because everyone's dare is so different, okay? So you cannot ask for what's your dare. You can ask in this, but for me, my dare was to put black nail polish. Like, it can be so silly, right? For me, my dare was to reply to a mail. For me, my dare was to go and talk to my co-worker about a topic, okay? And that's how I learned. Oh, really? Was I afraid of it for so far? I hadn't realized it till then. Okay? So try to do that. Try to do 30 days dare exercise. Note it down, make a journal note. Today I tried this one and tell me what happens. Okay? It will be, you will find yourself at a different place altogether.
Anyone wants to hear my dare?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
No hair tie.
Yeah. Good. Hello with it. The third thing is stop self-criticism. I mean, observe yourself. The messages we get as children, like you did such a bad job. Like they keep repeating in our mind even now. We are best at criticizing ourselves. How can you ever be your friend? Become your friend. Okay? Tell yourself, I love you, okay, and I'm going to take care of you, okay, and stop criticizing yourself altogether. It's going to be a very big task because that is the biggest task. I think if you forget about everything that I've spoken about and just focus on this, you will see results in your life. Okay?
Some amount is allowed, huh? This is for personal improvement. Like even the dare is self-criticizing, you're a little wuss to improve.
I didn't get you.
Like, if you're not ready to take risks, I mean, you're criticizing yourself, you're not taking risks, I want to improve, so make it an improvement thing.
Yeah, just criticizing will not get you anywhere. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm not taking risks, maybe I should take risks. Change the tone, right?
Yeah, probably term it as critical appreciation. So you review your behavior, you appreciate the good things, and you take up 2 points to work on the remaining.
Yeah, but I would still say, I will not say critical appreciation because it still puts pressure on you, right? So I want to take away the pressure. You're good as you are. Just accept yourself. Okay. Okay, I think we are post time. I do have some things.
I have a
But,
question.
yeah.
Now, 5 minutes? Huh?
No, can I just finish? Okay. Okay. So we have all.
Don't disappear.
It's past one. If you want to leave, please feel free. Okay.
Don't be free.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you in case you have somewhere else to go. But I'll continue and I'll probably take another 2 to 3 minutes to finish up. Okay. Community become allies of friends, of people around you. Learn to take help. I think at least I used to have such a big ego issue. I would never take help from anyone. Okay? And then I realized, oh, it's an issue for me and I need to take help. Okay? When you take help from someone, the other person feels good and you are profited also, right? Because you're getting something out of it. Learn to take help from people and tell them, be vulnerable. I don't know this. Okay? Can you teach me? Seek out mentors. So I haven't seeked out mentors as in, okay, can you be my mentor? Like I seek out in people what they know. And I find something in everyone, like what I can learn from them. Okay, and I go and say, okay, can you teach me this? I know you are very good at it. Okay, so, and that's how I learn. So you don't have to say, okay, I need these many mentors in my area of expertise or something. You just need to, I need to learn right now. And find someone who has it. And just go say, can you teach me? It could end up being a long-term thing or it could be just one discussion. Okay. No, we don't want to go there. Invest in yourself. This is the last one. Okay. Invest in yourself. Attend conferences. Okay. They're so enriching. You just get time away from work. Listen to what's happening around the world in the environment. Okay. So attend conferences. Form small groups. Okay. In which you can discuss what's happening. I attended Dialogue Circle. It was so empowering. You just meet 6 people and you discuss what are your issues. Right? It's so empowering, and we have one at thing where we just sit and discuss, okay, what's happening, what is not working well with us, and even discuss technical issues. Their exercise, I already told you. Classes, invest in yourself. So every birthday I give to myself. Okay, I have to decide what I want to, because I believe that I love myself and I need to gift myself. Okay, so I invest in my education. Okay. And my thing, what I want to learn. So give that gift to yourself, okay? Invest in yourself and spend some money on yourself. Say, I'll attend these classes, I don't know this. Say, maybe voice projection or confidence or anything, and learn a skill, okay? Be open. Be open, just remember you're a work in progress. Decide where you want to go, which way. If you may not know the end result, but you may know just a little ahead. This is my next step, which I think I want to see, and try it out, okay? Figure out what are the best ways and best tools you can use to get there.
I would like to attend some session which will tell us how to make the most of attending conferences, because most of the time, like I don't understand how people exactly network, because they meet a lot of people there. I'm pretty sure they will not remember the next time you speak to them, or how exactly do people actually go about it?
Take that as an action item.
Reach
Good.
out to them
You'll
right
get it.
away after the conference or during the conference. Send them an email and say how they met you, something that stands out, and say you'd like to keep in touch and something interesting that they mentioned or something. Just start the friendship. That's what the networking is you start a type of friendship.
But generally,
Keep this as a separate topic for another day. Lauren, hold the thoughts and pull you in for that one.
Okay, cool. So that's it I have for now. Okay, and hope you found some things that you can take back. Okay, I would have loved to collect feedback, but unfortunately I wasn't able to prepare a slide, so I'll send it out to you because I want to learn what resonated with you, what you found incorrect. I also want to know. There could be something wrong that I'm thinking, right? So I want to know that. And the third thing is, what are the other topics that you want to, like one you mentioned, that you want to get into? So I'll send that out, and then if you can respond to it, that will be really helpful. Okay. Thank you.
For anyone who wants to practice public speaking,
Thank
there's
you.
a
Bye.
Toastmasters meeting.
Hey, Lauren, we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one more thing here.
Okay, hang on. Let's stop
So
recording.
Karen was saying something. Let her finish and then Malini
Public speaking.
Yeah, so for anyone who's interested, there's a Toastmasters meeting every Wednesday at 12. You can search for it on Slack, and also reach out to me if you want.
Yeah.
The Toastmasters. Okay, you're going for that. Okay, stop recording.
Oh, it's secret?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were